Welcome back, everyone, and welcome to all of you joining us at home to the 2023 European Young Chef Awards in Le Touquet in the Hauts-de-France region of France. We are very excited to have all of you with us, and thank you for joining us at home. During the next 2 days, we are going to witness some of Europe's most promising young chefs prepare and present traditional dishes from their region. And then the next day, we'll see their reinterpretation of these traditional dishes. And of course, they are all using the finest local ingredients from their regions. So as we're witnessing the beginning of their journey, we're also going to have some time to talk with our esteemed jury, made up of chefs and food experts, who have the difficult job of choosing the winners of this competition. There's a first, second, and third place. And we'll also be talking to some of you here today, some of the mentors and representatives from the region, to give us an idea of some of the stories and traditions behind these great dishes that they will be presenting. And it will really help us also underline the great food diversity that we do have here in Europe. So before we go on, I think we have an image of our young chefs on the starting line. So we can have a look at that.
One, up to the kitchen!
I'm sure they're very excited, a little nervous as well. And they're off, and we already have Louis Barbier, who's the first chef, starting in the kitchen very soon. So while we're waiting for them to get set up and started, I would like to go back to the background of this contest, and who better to fill us in than Diane Dodd. Please come, Diane. Now, Diane has, she's been here since the beginning. She is the founder and one of the co-founders and the president of IGCAT, which is the Institute of Gastronomy, Culture, Arts, and Tourism. That is a lot of things, Diane. Could you tell me more about what IGCAT does?
Yes, of course. We're a global network of experts from around the globe. Initially, we started with arts, culture, and gastronomy and tourism, but now we have experts from environment, from agriculture, from health, from education, because one of the things that IGCAT realized is that we can do so much more to solve some of our challenges in the regions if we work across sectors. And so that's what we do at IGCAT, and and that's why we're here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Diane. And there's a way to empower communities and to shine a light on the food and the arts, and to help food flourish, and we might be in peril of certain extinction of certain plants and animals, this sort of thing, if we don't eat accordingly, correct?
Absolutely, and that's what we were very worried about. So that's why we started the initiative, the European Region of Gastronomy, to help regions that want to support their food community and look towards their food futures. Mainly because we tend to not appreciate what is local and traditional and normal. You know, something that you've eaten.
We'll step away from the
So, something that we've eaten every Sunday at our grandmother's house, we don't value it as something unique and special, but it is normally. It's just those dishes that are actually unique and very special to your region, and probably had very specific food varieties in them, or plant varieties. I heard some statistics from UNESCO, and it was saying that 7,000 species might have been eaten by our ancestors in the past and in their average diet. And now our average diet, we only eat 30.
Oh no, we're missing out on so many, many great options, I feel. Yeah,
so many, and we've lost so many options, because if we don't eat them, they won't produce them. And so...
And that seems interesting to me, because I would think that we actually have more food options now with, you can go to any grocery store and get just about everything.
Yes, absolutely. But they tend to be globalized food brands that you get in every city and every region in the world. And as a result of us eating more globalized foods, we eat less local foods. And we've lost a lot of knowledge about what we use specific varieties for. So in my village, we have 12 different varieties of tomatoes, and they're used for different cooking techniques.
Incredible. It'll be interesting to see what kind of varieties might be used in the dishes that our young chefs will be cooking today and tomorrow. So, is this the aim behind the European Young Chef Award?
Absolutely, because it's not just about preserving those plant and animal varieties or resuscitating those recipes. It's about much more than that, because if we lose them, we lose a whole history, we lose tradition, we lose part of our culture, our uniqueness, and on the back of that, there can be many job opportunities. So just imagine, I'm just going to give an example that's really easy for people to understand, but if we only had one variety of cheese and everybody ate that cheese, it was, your typical cheese, and everybody had it in every city, we wouldn't have a reason for festivals, we wouldn't have a reason for local food gifts and food products.
And people to be working at these.
Yes, absolutely. And the production and the traditional knowledge around that cheese. So, you wouldn't visit another city to taste the same cheese that you can taste in your own city. So, absolutely.
So yes, IGCAT has a great mission there, and we have a video to present IGCAT, and images speak very loudly. So let's look at that video if you don't mind. Isn't it? And so the European Young Chef Award is one of the main events produced by IGCAT in the year. And how many of these competitions have you already done now? I have a feeling this is not the first one, since the organization seems very tight. So how many have you done already?
Well, this is the 7th edition, and what IGCAT is really looking for are young chefs, the best talent, who can be influencers for the future, help other generations understand the importance of protecting and promoting local food and culture, for the circular economy, for their health, for the environment, and we're so happy.
Yes, and this morning, actually, there were the 9 young contestants who signed an agreement, to become ambassadors of. Could you talk about this important ambassadorship a little bit?
Yes, we're very proud that they each signed up to say that in their careers going forward, they will always try to promote local products, local producers, try to educate people and build awareness about the importance of keeping these plant and animal varieties alive, resuscitating old recipes, telling the stories that really make the regions unique, and become ambassadors for their regions.
Yes, so in 7 editions, how many ambassadors would you say are out there now? How many IGCAT ambassadors?
Well, I think we have more than 80 IGCAT ambassadors now, young chef ambassadors, and it's really great because they are our future.
And 80 times 80 times 80, it can really make a difference, and we are happy to hear about those positive things coming out of IGCAT. So last year, how did that ceremony go? Where was it? Could you tell me a little bit about last year's competition before we go on to this year's?
Yes, we held it in Trondheim, Trondelag, Norway, which is the European Region of Gastronomy in 2022. And it's really exciting. It was a beautifully organized competition, and the winner of that competition was Pau Sintes from Menorca, European Region of Gastronomy 2022.
Who happens to be on the jury, and I'll hope that I'll hear from Pau in a little bit. I would like to talk to you in a little while, Pau. But first, maybe we could look at some highlights from last year?
That would be great.
Okay, great. Could we see the video from last year, please? There must be some nice memories that come up for you, Pau, and for you, Diane, I'm sure, when you're watching this. And there have been, the seven before. But speaking about last year, what were some of the highlights of that particular edition for you?
Oh, gosh. There were so many. Really to see how the young people are taking sustainability very seriously. And I think the most important thing is they come to the competition as competitors, and they go away as lifelong friends, and they know they've got a network then across Europe to call upon. It's beautiful to see the transformation.
A transformation that does happen in just a very short amount of time. It is quite an adventure for these young chefs, and I have to say, just being here, they're already winners, and they're already courageous. They're winners in their own region already, and just the feat of doing what you love, what you like to do, in front of a lot of people who are watching and cheering for you, of course, is no small matter. So that's really inspiring, and I'm already feeling very proud of the young chefs. Now, I did notice that all of the finalists today are from European Regions of Gastronomy. What exactly does that mean? What is a European Region of Gastronomy, and how do you get to be a European Region of Gastronomy?
Okay, well, that's the flagship initiative of IGCAT, and it was a realization that we could use an award like the European Region of Gastronomy Award to accolade great gastronomy, but not just that, to create the environment for many, many stakeholders to come together, different institutions working in different sectors, so they're all working in the same direction to talk about and support their food futures. And so all of the regions joining, they're committing to safeguarding their food sovereignty for the future, to educating on food and health and welfare, to talk about sustainable tourism and balanced tourism, to think about how to create jobs and opportunities through food production and encourage young people to go into food production. It's one of the biggest challenges in many, many of the regions. And many other challenges that they have. They use the label to really address some of those challenges.
Yes. So you have certain pillars of criteria. You would say these 4 or 6. How many pillars did you mention?
Yeah, 6 focus areas that they work on, but there's much more. I mean, a lot of the regions are looking for the international visibility that the award can give them, because very often they have such richness within their regions, but they're often on the peripheries, or they need that extra support to be known. But off the back of the award, they can really address other issues. So everything from health, obesity, to ensuring that they can resuscitate plant and animal varieties that would otherwise become extinct. Very important.
Absolutely. That's wonderful, and like you said, extremely important. And so now this year, Hauts-de-France is the European Region of Gastronomy. And so for me, France, and we can agree, right? France is known for its gastronomy. France is known for its cuisine. So what is special? And I know there's a lot that's special about Hauts-de-France, but what is really singular? What is special about Hauts-de-France, and why is this a region of European gastronomy?
Yes, well, I was fortunate to accompany the jury on the visit to Hauts-de-France, and they were really impressed with the products in France. Hauts-de-France is known as the Garden of France. You know, it's where a lot of the great produce comes.
We might be seeing that on some Hauts-de-France t-shirts in the next few days, the Garden of France.
Garden of France. And what is wonderful about that is that many of the best chefs now are looking for the freshest, the healthiest, and the best products. So what you're seeing is a movement of talented chefs moving back into Hauts-de-France and setting their restaurants up here because they want to be close to the great products. And I think that is the accolade that Hauts-de-France has now. Not traditionally known in France as the region of gastronomy, now it certainly is. And the chefs know it.
They know it. Congratulations to Hauts-de-France. And they can speak for themselves through their video. Joanne, who I'll be talking to Joanne sometimes. He's doing a lot of work behind the scenes, putting the videos on, making sure I'm in the right place to talk to the streaming audience as well. So thank you, Joanne. Joanne, could you please launch the video from Hauts-de-France? Hauts-de-France going out with gastronomical fireworks. That's wonderful. Congratulations. And now, Pau, we saw a little bit, Pau Sintas, everyone. This is, he's from Menorca, and he was the champion of the 2022 European Young Chef Award. And he's also on the jury. Is it a little easier this year for you, being part of the jury, than...
Well, I don't know if it's easier, but I'm more calm than last year for sure.
More calm.
The same exciting that last year for sure.
That's wonderful. Yes, fewer nerves, more excitement, maybe a little bit. Can you tell us, Pau, what did it mean to you to be part of the European Young Chef competition and then to win it?
Well, it was an amazing experience, not only for winning, that as well it was, but it was a way to show to Europe, no, all our products or our region with a plate, no. That I think that it transmits so good who we are and how we cook and how we eat as well. So I think that it's so important to show to other people and to mix other cultures and to show who we are. And then to win that prize for sure, it changed my life a little bit because in the hotel where I'm now as a head chef, they propose after I win. So I don't know if I wouldn't win if they should offer to be the head chef or not, but for sure I'm so happy to be there.
Yes, and you were working at John Roca in El Celler. What was that like?
Yes, for me was the best experience I have in my life to be in that 3 Michelin star that Joan Roca always has been my hero in in the past, no? So it's I think all the chefs could go to be 4 months that I went should go, no, because it's like all the things that you study in the school that I was studying for 4 years in Barcelona, all the things you think that has to be done correctly when you go there are the true things, no? Are the things that you see there. So for me was perfect, was the best experience there.
Thank you so much, Pau, and congratulations again. Pau Sintas from Menorca, the champion of the 2022 European Young Chef Award. Thank you. And we do have, Pau, would you mind, in a little bit, we'll show the video of you from last year, if that's okay. You're not too, okay, great. But first, before we see that video, I would like to, now that I have it in mind, to ask Diane a little bit about the evolution of this competition before we go to Pau's video, because I'm sure that it changes so much every year.
It does. I mean, initially, the idea was to see how we could get the chefs to talk about their local products, and it was quite simple. And then I think in 2018, we saw that they were wrapping a lot of their products in plastic to transport it, and there was a lot of food waste. And we said, if we want to talk about sustainability, we have to address that. So we brought in new competition rules whereby we will look at how much plastic they've used and how much food waste there is left over at the end of their plates. It's fantastic to see how they took that challenge on board and have changed things altogether. And then more recently, we've been talking about the proportionality of meat and fish on the plate, because traditionally, we tend to think that in the hospitality industry, that to be hospitable, to be generous, to look after your guest, you serve them the very best. And of course, in the past, the very best was always the meat or the fish. And so we've got into a kind of a mindset that to give a main dish, it has to be, principally meat and fish. But we need to sort of go back a little bit and think about our ancestors, think about the proportionality of meat and fish, maybe change or get a better balance on the plate so that we're eating more vegetables, which is healthier, eating beans, which is another aspect of protein. Many young people don't eat beans anymore. They need to eat beans. It's part of a healthy diet. And to re-establish and think about how we address or put a plate in front of people. And I'm really happy with Pau Sintas, because one of the things we didn't mention was that last year the dish that won, it was vegetarian, and we didn't, the jury didn't even think about that it was vegetarian when they were judging it. They just knew it was delicious and technically it was fantastic. And I thought it sent a very strong message that even a vegetarian dish can win the competition.
Well, should we see a little bit? Let's go over here. We'll see a little bit more about Pau and his dish from last year. What do you think, Diane?
Yes,
all right, please play that video.
I am very proud to be from Menorca, a little island in the Mediterranean where the northern winds blow in winter and the fields burst forth with life in spring. An island where dazzling sunshine glints on the sand and the sea in summer, and where the fields drink deep when the autumn rains arrive. It's my home, and I feel very happy and blessed there. I know that the changing seasons will fill my kitchen cupboards with food, a generous island brimming with life, which always supplies its inhabitants with the food they need. Here, salt sprinkles crystals of light on our food, discover the ancestral flavour of life, which is unique and different from one place to another, singular and special. On my little island, we kneel down to search for tradition in the earth, where we find everything we need, the knowledge to learn, the motivation to innovate, the spark of light that anchors our never-ending journey towards the rediscovering our origins. The ancient power of the hoe and manual labour, which is still practiced by farmers today, those who give us the fruits of their labour, intensifying the full flavour of our dishes that live and breathe the aroma of salt and soil. Menorca is a biosphere reserve, pursuing a circular, sustainable economy through conservation. The people of Menorca love our little island, and we take good care of our ecosystems, which are home to a bounteous explosion of foods. An ancient culture of stone pressed upon the landscape harvested by Menorca's identity, my identity. My name is Pau Sintes, and I am proud to represent Menorca at the European Young Chef Award.
Bravo, Pau. That was just 1 year ago. And so we're talking about sustainability. Of course, your dish was a vegetarian dish. And I think that Wendy Berry, one of our esteemed judges, who is the writer of the Scottish Food Guide, might have something to say about sustainability and about vegetarianism, which lends to animal welfare. This is something that you look for, no, in your food guide?
Yes. Yes, I do. Sustainability is very much core to Scottish Food Guide, and I have a charter where the chefs, for example, are committing to outdoor reared pork, the non-industrialised chicken, using local produce and connecting with their local farmers, and the food producers are also following that ethical line. So, we're avoiding the farmed salmon and the industrialised food systems, so that we're really emphasising the food culture and cleanly produced food, so minimising the pesticides, as organic as feasibly possible. It's not always pure organic, but grown the natural way. And interestingly, for example, we have a fantastic potato producer that produces the most fantastic heritage potatoes, and more chefs are growing them or sourcing them from him. But he keeps cattle on the land because he appreciates the very importance of the animals in a healthy farming system. So even when you have lovely vegetarian food, actually the animals play a very, very important part in that biodiversity and looking after the land.
It's sometimes something that we don't think about. If we go to a restaurant and eat our food, there's all of the steps that come before that I can tell, Wendy, you're very invested in and passionate about, and safeguarding the Scottish food tradition. Thank you. I'll be looking forward to reading your Scottish food guide and trying that out for myself. Let's move on to one of our other jury members, Mr. Amon P. Veranamen, who is the former chef, and owner of Chez Amon restaurant in Gozo, which is a small Maltese island, correct? Amon, could you tell us what the European Young Chef Award, what this event means to Gozo, what it could mean for Gozo?
Well, for me, looking already up till now, the organization of this European Young Chef Award, I think it's a big, really a big achievement of the people who are behind it, who have the idea. I think the organization team is, for me, very talented, and they first of all have to know about food. Otherwise, they would not make such an event showing to the Europeans, actually, what the regions, not the big countries, because you have Italy, but Italy has a lot of regions. Malta has a region. We have a lot of countries in Europe who have regions, and the regions here are coming and showing with these young chefs how determined they are. And after seeing the video and after seeing the winner of last year, I would really thank the organization committee for inviting Gozo as a small region, and we are also a candidate for European Gastronomy 2026. So we had to prepare also a bid book. I'm one of the ambassadors as well to represent. I'm very honored and I'm very pleased to represent the region of Gozo, because gastronomy is a very important thing, because I think that these young chefs, with what they prepare, they bring out the best in people. They could bring happiness. With everything what's going on in the world, I think once we start eating some good food, we forget all about what's happening around us. So I think these young chefs, they have one big priority. It's try to bring with their dishes, if they're going to be served in their restaurants or wherever they're going to be served, that they bring out the best out of the people, and they bring happiness between all of us around the world, especially in Europe.
Thank you so much, Aman. And later on, I'm going to ask you more about the beautiful medals you're wearing, but I know that we're going to have to get in the kitchen pretty soon. So, but yes, we will talk. We will talk. And I understand that we have another here. I'm going to come over here so you can see me and you can see Thea. Do you get both of us in there, Cedric? Great. So we have another candidate region for 2026, and and this is Thea Vunic from the Kvana region in Croatia, and she is the owner and chef and a pastry chef as well at Ziavica restaurant in Croatia. Thea, could you tell us a little bit about? I notice you're wearing GRE on your shirt. I guess I'm noticing everyone's fashion today. We're in France. I've talked about the medals around his neck. Now I'm noticing that your chef costume here. Could you tell me a little bit about what GRE is?
Yes, this is like it starts like small organization, like a family organization, but it turned like it's so big, because all of us who is in this GRE organization, we love to work this job, so we try to be like something like this organization you have here. We try to be natural. We try to do really good food, really healthy food, zero waste food if it's possible. So this is all about young chefs who want to do better for the planet and better for our kitchens and for our guests. So it's pretty simple.
Yes. Is this countrywide in Croatia or in your region in particular?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Is it through the whole country of Croatia or just your region?
It's the whole Croatia, also in Europe. So it's in Croatia. It's not so many restaurants. It's about 11 restaurants only. But we want to stay small and secure until somebody else is coming in our family of Gire, because it's very difficult to have somebody inside who is not living this life. So it's not easy to find somebody more of.
Yes, a good support system. And when I think of support system, and of course I'm looking at you, you're a young female chef. I'm curious if there are in your organization already young female chefs. You know, in this edition we have 2 out of 9 female chefs. So we would love to have you know, a little more equality in the coming years. So how can we encourage young female chefs to step into the kitchen, to step into the competition, a competition like this? How do we propel them forward?
It's so hard, especially when you want to have a family in a couple of years. When you are young, it's easier. When you have a 19, 20 till 25, 6, I don't know. But later, it's so difficult because you have to work so strong, so much, so late. So if you have a family, it's really difficult, especially when it's two of you is in this job, like me and my husband. But you have to try. You have to have a grandmother and grandfather, so it's easier. But it's not easy for a woman. It's so hard.
So a support system. So already the fact that you're here, Thea, is inspiring for other young chefs, female chefs who might want to compete, who don't dare. Just seeing a female chef having that representation is very important. So thank you for being here. Thank you very much. And we have a video with you, I believe, to play from you in your region. If we could do that, Joanne, that would be great. All right, and I know that you can hear me, but you can't see me. That's because I am getting ready to go into the kitchen with the jury members. Here I am. Jury members, are you ready to go into the kitchen? Actually, you know what, before we do that, you might have noticed 2 empty seats up here, so maybe you at home have been thinking, what is going on? We see Paola Frade, who will be joining us later. Paola Frade comes from the Center for Culture and Tradition in Lisbon, Portugal. And we, of course, have the head of the jury this year and the ambassador for the European Region of Food 2023, Alexandre Gauthier, which is, of course, he's a 2 Michelin-starred chef at La Grenouillère. So they will be joining us later. But for now, I think everyone's ready to get into the kitchen and see a little bit of what is happening. I see some of the mentors nodding their head, and I'll be coming around to talk to you in a little bit, but everyone's excited to get in the kitchens, see how these young chefs are doing. So this is the moment. We're going to be entering in their natural habitat. And of course, it must be quite there's some getting used to, of course, when the kitchen, you're not used to the kitchen. They had some time to familiarize themselves with the kitchen, with the utensils, with the ingredients this morning. So here we are in the back, in the backstage where all of the action is happening. Watch your step. There's already a lot going on back here, and of course we'll be talking a little bit about our candidates without trying to disturb them because they're, of course, very concentrated. So I'll give you all at home and the jury members as well just some time to observe.
Okay.
To observe what's going on. Pardon?
So Louise starts first. How's it going, Louise?
I think we'll talk. Maybe we won't talk too much to the contestants. Yes, Thea's telling us we'll let them concentrate. So Armand is asking, yes, Armand is asking Louis where he's from. Thank you. Asking him where he's from a little bit. Asking him about the traditional dish he'll be preparing, about the crêpe. Now, just so you know, I'll let them converse between chefs, but Louis Barbier is 18 years old. He is currently studying for his higher technician diploma in hotel and catering management at the Lycée Polyvalent des Métiers Charles de Gaulle in Compiègne. And at the same time, he's serving his apprenticeship at a 1 Michelin-starred restaurant, Nature, in the region Hauts-de-France, under the supervision of chef Nicolas Gauthier. Yes. Sorry, Armand, if you don't mind, I'm going
You put salt.
to try to pick you up. Can you hear Armand?
I ask the competitor a simple question because it is a pancake, and I ask him, do you put salt in the crepe? Do you season the crepe? He said yes. I said, I hope you did not put any sugar. He said, no, I did not put any sugar.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And so we were talking, I would like to get out of Louis' way because he seems very determined, but I'll just talk a little bit about, Armand was asking him about the crêpe. So of course, his traditional dish is the ficelle picarde that he learned from his grandmother. And actually, Louis told us that his parents are in the industry themselves, that his grandmother always encouraged him to go into that direction. And it was with her that he first started preparing his dishes and pastries. Wendy, could you tell us what you asked Louis?
Yes, I was asking him where he sourced his ham, du jambon.
Yes, du jambon, du jambon.
And he was very happy to tell me that it was a local producer that specifically made that ham, which was the answer that I was hoping for.
That's great. That's wonderful. It's very reassuring
It
that
is.
that we have these sustainable products.
I better
This is
catch up or
great.
I'll miss something here.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Go ahead. We can talk more about the traditional dishes. Of course, Louis will come later and present his traditional dish to the jury. We'll have time to talk about it then as well. But I see that our jury has moved on already to the second contestant, who is Alessia Fisicella from Sicily. Alessia is 19 years old, and she got her diploma, her high school diploma in food and wine industry and hospitality with a focus on culinary arts from Don Pino Puglisi School in Centoropi Enna in Italy. She has recently enrolled at the University of Catania, where she's studying food science and technology. And over the past year, she has gained some work experience at Voi Hotels Florania Resort in Cimeri in Italy, and TH San Teodoro Licia Eldi Resort in Sardinia. So I hope we have some people in Sicily and maybe even Sardinia joining us at home for this streaming. Let's see what they're asking, Alessia. Yes.
It's a beautiful technique. But,
Oh, this is
the
beautiful.
sauce
This is
using-
beautiful. Yes, these are local pasta. No, could you pronounce it for me?
Busca.
Busca.
Busciata.
Busciata. Okay, yes,
Busciata.
busciata. So this is the traditional dish, and of course it's very special. The shape is very special, and I see that she has like this little stick that she's painstakingly wrapping the dough around
And I asked
and
her-
rolling it out. Yes.
And I asked her if there was eventually somebody would invent in a machine to do that.
But it's always nicer done by hand, isn't it? That's part of where
This is
we-
the
it comes
local
through in the
original.
taste.
It's very original.
It's wonderful.
It's a local original. It comes from Trapani. Yeah? Trapani? Catania. Yeah, Catania.
That's beautiful to see. We even have Pa taking some pictures. This will probably, yeah, the jury will probably take some pictures, take some photos, so that later when they're making their decisions, they can remember exactly.
I think it's quite amazing the work and the effort she puts in it, because I think I have been a chef, but I think after 10 rolling this I would get very nervous and I would.
Say, have the servers tell the customers we're out. we're out of it.
How's it going? Can you explain a little bit where you are in your process?
Yes, I can.
Yes, this is Sander, who seems very comfortable explaining to us where he is in his process. Sander Mollerup, who is a chef student at Restaurant Ja in Hauts-de-France, Denmark.
This is the main event. This is what I bring from home. It's called the bakstød. In Danish, it translates to dried fish. So it's dried fish, and then it's smoked.
Yes, he's talking about the star of his show. The star of his show, which is dried salted fish. Bakskuld, in my best accent. So his traditional dish is smørrebrød with bakskuld. And smørrebrød is an open-faced sandwich and a common lunch dish beloved all over Denmark, where it's served in various forms and with different toppings. And we can smell the salted fish. It's wonderful.
It's kind of the way that it's dried. If you dry it too much, then you have like it's like a beef jerky. You know, we don't want that. We want some juiciness in the fish. As you can see, then the smokes first give out.
They're talking about the different techniques of drying and smoking fish.
The fat, when you smoke fat, it comes like bacon.
Paula?
What you do if the fish comes to dry, because it says here that it is from a coastal, salty coastal wind. The fishermen used to hang it. Is it very dry when it's ready to serve, or
No, it's
the fish itself?
De faire avancer un tout petit peu, je vois pas du tout avec
De faire avancer qui?
le candidat, mais
Ah, ok.
complètement caché derrière toutes ces peaux-là.
D'accord.
S'il fait un pas en avant, c'est là.
in my region
Okay.
where I come from, in Highland Town, we don't dry it that much.
Sander, excuse me, could you take one step forward? So thank you so much, and continue on. Thank you.
Where I come from, this is how they normally do it. You can get them in all sort of varieties. It all depends on how much you dry it. Yeah, it's an old tradition from the sailors.
Because the smørrebrød, I believe, is also served with smoked salmon or with gravlax or whatever you call it. But this, my baby, sometimes I think, I'm afraid, I don't know it, but I will taste it probably that it's not too dry. This is my only concern.
Yeah, exactly.
Amant, for the camera, just so that we have that conversation, could you tell me what question you asked him and the answer, so that we have this for the camera as well?
Yes.
You were talking about the smoking of the fish.
I asked him that normally you have smørrebrød in Copenhagen or in Denmark.
Smørrebrød. Your accent is much better than mine.
No, but sometimes you serve this with smoked salmon or gravlax, who is soft and who is not dry.
Okay.
This is a fish. They dry it out at sea, the fishermen, it says. It's quite traditional. And I want to taste it because I asked him, I'm afraid that it will come over to me dry. He said, no, I'm sure it will not be dry.
Okay, very confident. That's a great. That's a great quality in a chef. He is confident that his fish will not be dry. Okay, and as our jury is talking to Christina, I'll introduce her a little bit. Now, this is Christina Pons Benavides from Menorca. Christina is 23 years old, and she has concluded a higher degree in kitchen management at EHTB in Barcelona. And one thing I love in Christina's bio that she sent was she said that everyone knew from little on that she loved cooking. So this was something that was always kind of destined for her. So she studied economics for 2 years, but then decided to go to cooking because that is what made her feel complete. And I see she's cooking with some squid, so I'm going to have a look. Yes, a closer look. Her traditional recipe is calamas plens, which is a dish of stuffed calamari that is typically served at Menorcan Christmases. And Amanda's talking about their similar tradition in Gozo that they have with squid.
But just in our region, we're using ricotta cheese to stuff calamari.
Amanda.
I wish you good luck.
Yes, Amanda is going to be our kitchen. We're going to be our kitchen star. If you don't mind, I'll keep pulling you over because you have some great questions. I just want to make sure that our people at home and our people outside of the kitchen can hear.
I was asking Christina, who is from
Menorca.
She's from Menorca.
Yes.
In our region, on the island of Gozo, we have a similar. And we are very famous in a lot of restaurants using the local calamar, who is a fantastic creature of the sea. And I asked her if the stuffing goes in a whole calamar. And she said yes. So we have similar in our region in Gozo, but we're using also ricotta cheese.
Ah, okay.
We're using our local ricotta cheese in the stuffing of the calamar, who is not naturally, who is also with local product, like she using her local products, but that's what my question was to her.
Okay.
If they never thought of using their local cheese.
And had she thought of it, or is this something
no,
that...
we have a lot of gozo. We have a famous gozo.
Maybe.
We have a very famous gozo cheese, who is called in Maltese Žbejnit.
Okay.
And you have the fresh cheese in the morning, but you also have the gozo Žbejnit, who is the pepper cheese. That you also eventually pepper cheese, who is a bit harder, Žbejnit, but that you can also chop very, very fine, and that you can mix it with the stuffing.
Great. Okay, well maybe Christina will keep that in mind for a new recipe, a new Menorcan recipe as well. And now our jury is starting to talk with Oscar. Am I too close to the camera now? Are you seeing me too big at home? No, we're good. Okay. Now we're with Oscar Kraus, yes, from the region of Trondheim-Trøndelag. Oscar is 18 years old and comes from Itra, which is a small island off the coast of the Trøndelag region, Norway, and has just over 5,000 inhabitants. And the dish that he's cooking now is bacalhau, which is a tradition now in the region, but it was brought by Portuguese sailors when they went to Norway decades ago. So a nice European cross-cultural gastronomical experience. And Oscar told us that it's served at celebrations on Sundays or as a normal weekday meal. So it's very typically from his region. And yes, and this is done with the fish that he's using is the klippfisk, which is a specific type of cod caught in the early spring, and then it's salted and left to dry on the rocks, leading down towards the ocean. And the traditional dish that he's cooking right now, that this is actually his mother's recipe. So I'm sure that Oscar is paying particularly close attention to this recipe that I'm sure is associated with some nice memories and stories for him as well. We'll see. Amand loves to ask all of the chefs lots of questions, so he's going to be my co-host in the kitchen, I think, is a good is a good idea.
And you serve it on what? Is it served on a toast? No, just as it is. Yes.
And the bacalhau, Amanda is curious to know if it's served on toast or with bread, and apparently it's served as is. It doesn't need the bread, it stands on its own. Yes.
I
Ah, okay. Sure, I can back
The
up.
clay pot that,
Oh.
that Christina's using.
I did not see the clay pot. Cedric, can we go over and see the clay pot that Christina is using? Because it's true that a big part of the... Absolutely. Can you get a glimpse of this?
So he's using a typical...
Oh, this is great. Do you get that? Because of course we're in the traditional dish, and so of course the serving dishes. Yes, can you see? we're gonna get the shot of that clay dish. This is beautiful. Of course, is an important component of the traditional dish is the traditional servingware that we used. And absolutely, because not only is it a traditional recipe, but our young chefs are trying to cook in the way that their grandparents or great-grandparents would have done it, which is obviously very different. The techniques have changed, and that has a great impact. So we'll do a little time traveling today when we taste these dishes. This is beautiful, and I can only imagine that getting this clay pot from Menorca to here was a challenge, and I'm sure Christina took great care to make sure she always knew where the clay pot was, so that she could take care of it. Yes. Yes, you can go around. Sure. We'll see the beautiful clay pot. Cedric, our cameraman, is very committed.
I think I
so we
need
have
to move to the next
Yes,
kitchen.
and we will. We'll get that clay pot, and then we'll move to the next kitchen, Cedric. And if we don't have a good image of it, well, we'll have that. We can. Yes, we can come in later, and we can have some of those pictures up on our social media. We even have people watching from outside. So our young chefs are really under a lot of pressure right now.
Yeah, we should look.
Yes. Let's go to the next kitchen. Ah. Here, now that Cedric has... Cedric, could we have... That's great. This is wonderful. Ah, sure, absolutely. Let's go around. And then we'll try to get one shot of Louis' pancakes over there, the crêpes. This is incredible, the scents that are coming from this clay pot. This is wonderful. I can't wait to see the final presentation already. The colors, hi Christina, I don't want to bother you. Yes, fully concentrated. And I'm sure already this, seeing the different utensils, the different serving dishes, the different methods. We're doing a little bit of gastronomical tourism without having to leave the Region Hauts-de-France. We're going to go into the next kitchen now. Good luck to all of our contestants. We're leaving you all alone. Now they're all very concentrated. Let us go. We're going to Catalonia. Exactly, Amand. Here we go. Here we go, on to the second kitchen. Now our jury has been in the first kitchen. They asked our first contestants all about their dishes, all about their methods of preparation. We could see that the contestants were very focused, maybe a little nervous, but I'd say for the most part, they kept it very cool when they had to answer questions and cook at the same time. They all seem really in their element, so we are off to a good start. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cedric. Is this microphone already on, Cedric? Hello, hello. Cedric, is this microphone already on? It's great, wonderful. Okay, I'm going to watch my step. And now we are traveling to the region of Catalonia with Osvaldo Cejas from Catalonia. And I see Diane.
Osvaldo, you are using retinolect, right?
Diane, do you mind joining me a little bit over here? Cédric, I'd like to talk to Diane for a little bit. I see that you're checking out some of the ingredients. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for local ingredients. Because, we asked the
Sorry, well, I think it's very noisy, but it's very exciting because it looks like
unraveling the ingredients.
they're unraveling the fish. It looks like, I'm assuming. Oh no, that must not be fish.
No.
He doesn't have fish. I wonder what's in there. We're
What's
going
in
to
there?
find
It's a
out later.
huge box.
It's a huge box, very well packed. So whatever is in there is incredibly important. We'll check that out later. We're going to stay in Catalonia for now, and look at Osvaldo's recipe here. So you were looking at the ingredients.
Yes, it's one of the principal things that we do with all of the contestants is to really look at where they're bringing the products from. We do ask them to bring as many of the local products as they can. Obviously, sugar is not going to be local, so then the host institution will provide sugar, but other things, for example, even salt. So if you come from a region that produces its own salt, why would you bring or use the salt that's here for your recipe that's talking about your region?
Because all of these alterations will change the taste.
Absolutely. I mean, it sometimes goes to really minute details like that. The variety of the product that you used, the type of condiments that you use. So, this change your grandmother's recipes.
Yes, absolutely. And today it's all about the grandmothers and maybe some of the grandfathers, but probably a lot of the grandmothers' recipes from years and years ago. And so, we're trying to respect those recipes as much as possible. And Osvaldo, who is originally from Bolivia, but came to Catalonia when he was 12, I'll be excited to ask him how his Bolivian roots might also influence his interpretation of Catalonian cuisine. That will be very interesting. And right now, the iconic dish that he's making is molts gaudi, which is red mullet that comes coated with a mosaic of multicolored vegetables, named for, of course, Antonin Gaudí and his incredible architecture. So, as you'll see, Osvaldo seems very concerned with the presentation, with the artistry behind cooking.
Yes.
Do you notice that too?
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things that we've been asked about is what about how much infusion of other cultures or the background of chefs can we accept? Does it have to be traditional?
Yes.
And of course, influences have come into our gastronomy over centuries. There is no pure dish anymore.
Yes.
Everyone came from somewhere. Yes. And so we really invite also that play on tradition, that new flavors that it can give a little twist in the innovative dish. Yes. Now it's about the traditional, but tomorrow,
Tomorrow, so we'll see maybe some of those other influences.
That creativity is so important. But to be able to tell the story about that, okay, it was influenced by a traditional dish. We're using traditional and local products, but we've added a twist, and the twist is because, and I think that's the interesting thing. It's like architecture. You go to a church, and the interesting thing about it is to see the different architectural periods and to be able to understand them. And that's the same with the innovative dishes, is to understand how they've changed, emerged, what was the creativity or the influences that have gone into that dish.
Yes. So would you say that the traditional dishes are maybe a little more about technique and a respect of the region, their products, their traditions, and the innovative dish is more personal, more creative?
Yes, definitely more creative, and also a little bit more comfortable for a contemporary palate, because a lot of these traditional dishes were for going out into the field and working an 8-hour day, or going down a mine and being down there for 8 hours. So they needed very heavy, stodgy meals that would sustain them throughout a day. Now we have very sedentary lifestyles, most of us. We need to eat less, but eat better, and to, refine the way that we eat. And I think this, okay, we're going to see some big fine dining concepts tomorrow and huge innovations, but the techniques that they're using to, to reinterpret the dishes and keep the flavors alive, the local products being used is what is important.
That's wonderful. And as you're talking, I'm just admiring the concentration of Osvaldo as he's cooking, and all of the young chefs really. I applaud them for really staying grounded, staying focused. As you know, there's a lot going on around them. You can't even see everything, but there are servers over to the side waiting to serve their dishes. There are their mentors. There are even people looking in on them from the windows. So they're under quite a bit of pressure here, and they're indeed keeping their cool, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Let's see what's going on over here.
Are you seeing anything interesting?
Yes. Could you? Yes, there's Matthias Roisko, who's from Finland. Did you get a chance to look at Matthias's dish?
Yeah, for sure. We were looking for him.
Okay.
So I'm just making sure I've got the right one before I put it in my
Oh
mouth.
yes.
He's doing the fish soup, is he not?
Okay.
Yes, with the bread.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So while the jury is talking, I'll introduce Matthias Roisko. I hope I'm getting these names right. Matthias is an 18-year-old third-year culinary student from Savonlinna in Finland. It's a small town surrounded by clear waters and clean forests, from which he gets most of his inspiration in the kitchen, he tells us. Yes, and his traditional dish is Saimaa fish soup, which is a soup that has been cooked for decades in the area surrounding the Lake Saimaa, a beautiful region that I'm actually just learning about, and we have a representative from Lake Saimaa who will talk to us a little later when we get out of the kitchen and let the chefs get back to their cooking. And Matthias is using his grandmother's recipe for the fish soup. All right.
Until the last two start.
Okay, the last two needs to start. Well, I was talking about Lake Saimaa with Matthias, so maybe I can go out and see if we have a representative from Lake Saimaa to talk to a little bit. Her name is Annie. Oh yes, absolutely. I invite anyone to share this microphone with me. All right, so Wendy would like to say a little bit. Cedric, could we get Wendy on camera? She would like to say a few words. I would love to hear what you have to say.
I was just delighted to see him filleting a perch pike, because to get a lake fish, and it's a bony fish that, people certainly in Scotland don't eat, and they could fish for it. And it's so lovely to see an ingredient that's from nature and has its challenges being very professionally handled. So these are the kind of food culture things that are around the kitchens that are so interesting, whether it's the handmade pasta or how they cope with the calamari. And in his case, that perch pike is very interesting.
That's wonderful, and we're lucky to have food experts who can see these things and relay these messages to us, because I wouldn't have caught that. Thank you so much.
Have you been introduced to Paula?
I have not. Oh, Paula Frades. She's here. Wonderful. Well, it's very appropriate to meet you in the kitchen, Paula. Welcome. Okay, so here's when I was showing you the empty seat before and saying our other jury member will be here shortly. This is Paula Frades. Paula, could I ask you just to introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, I'm from Portugal, and I'm attending my PhD in food heritage. And I research local food, local producers, and I'm very happy to be here. And from what I've been seeing, wonderful plates and all the care, the products they have here from their countries. So I think with these young people, we have a brilliant future, I think.
Yes, that's great, and I'm sure it's nice for you to also see your research in action in these young brilliant chefs. I will say it, they are brilliant. And they've already, again, I want to remind everyone at home that they've all won in their regional competitions. So this is really la crème de la crème, as we would say in France. Yes, of course.
Even though we are experts and we are older, but it's such an honor to be here working with these young chefs. They inspire us to be here and to do our job. Thank you.
That's wonderful. Paola, who's inspired by the young chefs, and I'm sure they're inspired by her research and her message as well. So,
I think Pao had a comment to make.
Yeah, only one.
all right, step up. Pao.
No, that I think that we make a while around the kitchen. I think they are so good. They are so organized, so clean. That for me is and I think that for chefs it's so important to have the organized and the cleaning in the kitchen. That sometimes you know the image that we have of the chef that is all dirty, all
Flour in their hair.
and I think they are all so organized, and all of them know that what are they doing for sure.
And so I remember we were speaking about this before off of the cameras, Thea, and you were talking about how important it is to have an organized kitchen. And so, sure, someone like me who is not a chef, I can say, sure, it's important, but can you tell us why it's so important to be organized in the kitchen and to be cleanly in the kitchen? And
Yes, absolutely. Because plate is going out in front of the guest cleaner. More organized because it's inside when it's clean, it's outside also clean. So maybe people who is not working in the kitchen there don't understand that, but it's really important that because it's the same like at home. Because if you have clean working station, it's everything around you. It's faster, it's cleaner, it's secure, and it's better. In the mind.
in the mind, well, I'm seeing right now how clear-minded they are, and I'm very impressed by that. So I'm sure that a clean and organized workstation can only lend to that. All right, I would like to just take a couple-minute break. I'm going to try to find some representatives from the regions, go back out, and then we'll be back in the kitchen when our next contestants are ready to start. So just a brief break.
Today was a fun day. Next to our house, there's this magic forest. We picked mushrooms there with Mom and my little brother. I can pick many different kinds already. Mom taught me. My favorite is the chanterelle, and of course blueberries. You can find lots of things to eat in the nature. The best part, however, is the picnic. Blueberries are really good on rye bread, if they stay on top. This bread was baked at Grandma's house. Grandma was already heating the oven when we were still asleep. Auntie made a huge big bowl of dough. It was so big we had to come and help. Granny said that you had to knock on the bread. Then you know when it's ready. We always take the dry bread to the horses. Auntie says that the horses can be a little stubborn, but you can lure them to the stable with bread. Nature is a wonderful thing. You can find all sorts of things to eat right in our backyard. Mom is so smart. She makes treats from all sorts of stuff. Even from the plants that others don't know you can use. We made a pie from chanterelles, a salad from Mom's herbs. I put violets on top. You can eat those too. And of course the bread, homemade. It's the best.
Okay. What you have just seen there, is there a microphone on? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
So what you saw there is Harvesting Memories, a beautiful short film produced and created in Saimaa region. Saimaa will be European Region of Gastronomy 2024. So next year, and we have one of Saimaa's ambassadors with us today, Annie Cohen from Saimaa region. Annie, you must be very proud because this film won the food film menu this year.
Yeah, applause. Thank you. Yeah, of course, I'm very proud and I'm very so proud for the people who made this film, who write this film, who filmed it, and also I need to mention that Sari Kaasinen made the music for the film. So
there is so many talents in our area to do this kind of thing, so I'm very proud, and I love the family who is in this film. She's very talented with herbs. Yeah.
I have to say that the jury were enchanted that it was a little girl telling the story, and seeing the generation to generation knowledge about knocking the bread. It was just really beautiful.
Diane, because we're talking about the film, but just quickly before we go back into the kitchen, could you tell us what the film food menu is? The competition that this Lake Saimaa production won. Could you just tell me about that?
Absolutely. So the food film menu is another initiative of the European Regions of Gastronomy. They decided, and we noticed, that there was very little audiovisual material to tell the story about the food. So the food film menu, it's a competition, an annual competition, inviting short films that has the region's food and culture as protagonists. And we're very excited. We had 54 submissions from around the world. It's open to regions that also don't have the award. We had 54 submissions, an international jury from film festivals from around the globe, also selecting the films. And we had 11 shortlisted candidates, and Saimaa's film won. So congratulations again.
Congratulations, Lake Saima. Wonderful, thank you so much. And now before we go back in, I just wanted to reiterate, so that's one of the film festival is one of the pillars of IGCAT, along with the European Young Chef Award, and there's one more big event, isn't there?
Actually, two. We have the top websites for foodie travelers. So that's another competition. The call is open right now. So listening in, if you have a really good website that would appeal to foodie travelers, then please do submit it to IGCAT. We'd be interested to have submissions from around the globe. And we also have the World Food Gift Challenge. And the World Food Gift Challenge is really to encourage food producers to package and tell the story about the region through their food gifts. And it can be food or it could be food related, because as we've seen in the kitchen, you know, there are pots, there are ceramics, there are glasses, there are kitchen utensils, recipe books. So there's a whole host of other products that actually can be related to the region's gastronomy as well.
That's wonderful. All of these ways to promote the regions. I'm going to run back. If you'd like to join me, Diane. Thank you so much, Anna. We'll run back into the kitchen because there are still a few contestants we haven't seen in action, and we're going to be ready pretty soon to start with Louis from Hauts-de-France, who will present his region. So let's go quickly. It's this way. It's this way. We can go in right here. I have my other microphone. So now we have everyone who has.
So is everybody cooking now? No. So you just started.
All right, we have Dimitrios Mavropoulos from the South Aegean.
Wonderful. So
With his traditional dish of lard and cabbage.
what are you going to do with the organic trash? What would you normally do in your kitchen with the trash from organic?
This trash?
Yeah. Would you compost it?
This, maybe. Maybe. Yes.
Yes, you know, because a lot of the chefs, you know, of course there's going to be food waste. There are things that you can't use, but if they compost and they have an idea of, you know, how to reuse this or giving it as animal feed, that's also valid, you know. There are a number of ways to counteract food waste, and that is one of them too.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you. We'll let Osvaldo. Oh, pardon. We'll let Dimitrios concentrate. And now our...
Wow, beautiful traditional cook.
Yes, we have this Bastian Vok from Slovenia, who now we see the serving. Hello, Bastian, who's just preparing, just setting up. And I see he has there's a lot of honey, a lot of bees, a lot of...
This is local products.
Yes.
100 meters on my home, and that is all ingredients who make or made this dish best.
Wow. And I have to say that, you know, honey is such an important food element for young people, and we really encourage that, you know, awareness programs in all of the regions to get young people to eat more honey and have it in their diets. I mean, it's wonderful for the health, it's wonderful for the gut. And also, there's World Bee Day to raise awareness about the importance of bees and pollinators. And we really promote that together with the Association of Slovenian Beekeepers, and we, you know, I'm really happy that we have a dessert that is using honey as its main recipe.
In this recipe is not sugar, but honey.
Yes.
That's it.
So much healthier than sugar, and also local. Yeah. So fantastic.
Incredible. Bees are the star of the show. Bees are the star of the show here. I can't wait to taste this. And we're actually... Yes.
Oh no, I took another one.
Yes. So we're seeing the traditional design over there, and also all of the honey products brought within 100 meters of his home. So congratulations. I think we need to go back.
Yes, we do. We do need to go back. Thank you. We're going to
So we have to go
get into place, yes. Louis Barbier from Hauts-de-France is going to present his first dish. Best of luck, bon courage et bonne chance à tout le monde.
Yes, and I think we can say that tomorrow the jury will have more time.
And now we'll see.
Tomorrow they have more time to cook, so we have more time to visit them as well.
Yes, Diane was saying that tomorrow they have more time to cook, so we'll have more time to even spend in the kitchen with them, which is really fascinating. All right, our jury is now sitting tight, organizing themselves. They'll be tasting, they'll be taking notes. I think, Diane, we even get to taste a little bit. I feel very lucky. And I get to taste, and I don't have the hard job of noting, of scoring the ingredients. Today, of course, is more of a test run for tomorrow. So even our jury is doing a test run to start to get to know the contestants, to familiarize themselves with the traditional recipes, because of course a big component of the innovative dish is seeing how the traditional dish has been innovated. So they're going to be very concentrated as they're tasting. Excuse me, I'm getting some microphone feedback, so I'll step over here. They're going to be noting a lot about the traditional dishes so that they have a reference base for tomorrow when they actually are scoring.
It's very exciting, just 2 minutes
Yes,
to go.
absolutely. So can you kind of walk us through so that everyone here knows and everyone at home knows what is about to happen? What are we going to see?
Okay, so all of the finalists have started cooking at staggered times, so they all have the same cooking time. And today they're cooking the traditional dish, so that's less time than they will have tomorrow. They will come in when it's their allotted time to present. They will come and they will present their dish. Serving staff will help to present dishes to the jury, and the young finalists will be able to present the dish, tell the story, and then the jury has an opportunity to ask some questions. While they're scoring, we'll also see a video that the young chefs have made in their regions that tells us a little bit more about where they've come from and the landscapes.
Yes, because we've just got a brief introduction of who they are and what they're about. So we'll see more about their regions. And I see now this is very exciting. We're getting set up for Louis Barbier's dish. Okay, so this is Louis Barbier from the Hauts-de-France region. I'll go right next to him. He's breaking the ground here for the European Young Chef Award 2023. This is absolutely beautiful, and I'm going to let Louis speak for himself in a little bit to present his dish, to tell you what it is. And of course, all of the presentation is part of all of it. It looks like there's some voilà, and this is a region. This is a dish from the Hauts-de-France region, and I'll let Louis Barbier talk about his dish.
This recipe is the ficelle Picard. Is a typical recipe of my region. This recipe is created with my grandmother. The tarragon is the touch for us. It's composed of the mushroom of Paris, from Vaumoise at 10 kilometers of my home, and ham of jambon de chez nous. It's a label from Hauts-de-France with a béchamel. The ficelle Plicard is a traditional Sunday dish, shared with family. It is a souvenir for me. It's created by two chefs of the region Picardie at the Foire of Amiens.
You tell me when you need it again. Quite the production here as he serves this up.
It's a family plate.
This is a family dish, and it looks like it carries a lot of memories with it, as I'm sure all of these dishes will.
I think if the jury eat the whole pancake, they will be full and not be able to taste any more.
It's a taste. I remind you, it's a taste, jury members. Yes. I'm sure there are plenty of others who would love to taste this dish in the room. Already the smells are incredible, I have to say.
The robust of the mushroom is conserved for powder for other plate with powder assaisonment or powder for colors of industrial textile.
Wonderful. So giving us more background on those mushrooms that really look delicious in the plate. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Magali. And now I remember in Louis' bio, him talking about foraging in the forests for mushrooms. Let's see if we can get this second microphone on. There we go. Go ahead, Louis.
I created a vinegar of beer, typical ingredient of my region, for assaisonment this salad. If you want to these recipes in your home,
He's showing them exactly the recipe that he used. Great, thank you very much, Louis. Does the jury have any questions for Louis before you taste? Yes, Pau. You have a microphone right there. There you go. Okay, Pau and then Amand.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pau.
Hello, thank you. Congratulations. When we see the traditional dish, we see like the Italian cannelloni. No, we don't know if there is influence of this type because it's made with a crepe, not with pasta. But the style and the way of making it's so similar. You know if it's some influence of cannelloni or not?
No, it's because the crepe is a universal ingredient for me. Around the world, you cook a crepe. In France, it's a typical crepe for the France.
Thank you. And you can tell me something about this plate?
This plate is a plate of man.
Your great-grandmother.
Your great-grandmother. Yeah, it's a family plate. My grandmother had this family plate.
His great-grandmother gave him these plates. Yeah. Great-grandmother passed it down to his grandmother, and his grandmother brought these plates. Thank you for sharing, Louis.
peux le dire en français ou en English?
Sure, I'll translate.
Alors, juste une petite question. Est-ce que vous croyez que ce petit plat est cher ou c'est bon marché?
Non, du tout, c'est vraiment un plat familial qu'on retrouvait avant. C'est trois ingrédients de base.
So Amand was asking if Louis thought that if this was a expensive meal, and Louis is saying no, that it's actually quite traditional.
Yes.
Quite
No, you hear me.
Yes.
Oui, oui. Non, j'avais demandé si le plat était, vous considérez cher à préparer ou c'est un plat budget pour la famille.
C'est un plat budget et on peut le servir. Enfin voilà, c'est des champignons, du jambon, des œufs, des crêpes. Donc c'est vraiment un plat qui a été avant servi dans les mœurs, dans les familles picardes agricoles. On n'avait pas forcément les moyens.
C'est très bon.
Thank you. Thank
Très
you so
bon,
much, Louis.
Très bon.
Wonderful. We'll be moving on to our next contestant. Thank you so much, Louis. Merci beaucoup. And you know what, Diane, I think that there's a little plate for us. So while we're eating, don't mind us, we'll be over here. We're going to show everyone, you here and you at home, a video produced by the Hauts-de-France region featuring Louis.
Okay, Louis, you can relax.
Go ahead. Yes. Bravo, Louis. Bravo.
Round of applause, please.
Bravo. It's delicious. I was hoping that would go on a little more so I could have some more, but we're already on to our second contestant. Welcome, Alessia Fisichella. Thank you. Thank you. From the Sicily region. I'll let you. Yes, yes, go ahead. Go ahead. Yes, you can start your service, absolutely. Excuse me. I'm trying to stay out of everyone's way. All right, and we'll have, yes, go ahead, Alessia, you can go ahead and start talking, and we'll have a translator. There you go. We'll have a translator for you.
Buonasera a tutti, sono Alessia e questo è il mio piatto della regione Sicilia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alessia, and this is my plate from Sicily region.
Ho voluto rappresentare un piatto interamente siciliano utilizzando prodotti semplici del territorio di Enna, dove sto io.
I wanted to show you a truly Sicilian dish made exclusively with ingredients coming from the area where I live, which is Enna.
Yes. Allora, ho rappresentato delle busiate fatte a mano, interamente a mano, utilizzando della favetta secca e
So it's handmade pasta. It is called busiate. It's a very peculiar type of pasta that she prepared entirely by hand, with her hands, and with dried broad beans.
ho utilizzato del guanciale nero dei Nebrodi e del pomodoro secco di Pachino.
She also used guanciale from Nebrodi. Guanciale is pork jowls.
Pomodoro secco di Pachino.
Okay, and dried tomatoes from Pachino, which is also in Sicily.
Non lo so. Ok, allora, ho utilizzato una tecnica antica per fare la busiata. Vuoi iniziare a tradurre?
So she used a very ancient technique to make this pasta.
Utilizzando letteralmente a mano un bastoncino di legno immerso nella farina e poi arrotolando la pasta e dolcemente schiacciandola per arrotolarla.
Okay, she used a wooden stick to coil the dough around and create this helical shape that the pasta has.
Avendo questa forma arrotondata, allungata e fine.
To obtain this kind of long-shaped and roundy helical the shape of the pasta.
Yes, could we show the dish? Already I see the judges have their cameras out so they can make sure they remember this, how it looks for the competition tomorrow as well. Making notes about that. Very interesting form. There we go. That very interesting form of the pasta. Yes. Yes, go ahead, Armand. There's a microphone right here. And then Wendy.
I would like to ask, io fa farmi il possibile fare la domanda in italiano, ok? Allora, questa pasta è sempre vostra idea di fare queste busciate o è Barilla? Barilla è una grande compagnia. Est-ce que Barilla fa queste busciate a vendere il supermercato o no? O viene semplicemente da vostra regione? Ha capito? So in English, I asked her in English that she made this particular, we have seen it, her technique she used with the wooden stick. I asked her that is it only in her region that they make it by hand, or is there a big company like Barilla in Italia who makes this busciata a vendere to sell them in the supermarkets?
La pasta, questa qui è tradizionale della mia regione, di Catania, come avevo già detto prima. La pasta della Barilla è più stretta, confronto, questa qua è più lunga.
So Barilla lo faccio, sì? Barilla non lo faccio? Con
No,
la bruciata no?
no.
No, ok.
Strettamente.
Mi sono soddisfatto
Yeah.
di questo vostro...
Yes, yes, of course. This pasta is very traditional, handmade in the region, and there are big companies that do a similar kind of pasta, but it's tighter. Yes.
It's different or is it the same? Because my idea is that if it's so traditional and original, you could have a patent on it.
Perché se è così unica potreste avere brevettarla.
Hai capito?
Sì.
That's a good idea, Amand. Go ahead, Wendy, with your question.
Thank you, Alicia. I have a question about your lovely pork, which you brought with you. Yes? Yes. So it's lovely and crispy, and I'm thinking it's maybe you buy it cured and maybe lightly smoked, and did you roast it? So a little bit about the pork. Thank you.
Yes, so we making sure that we understand the way that the pork was roasted, which seems...
Ok, allora, il guanciale è fatto letteralmente è una produzione di questo maialino fatta al Nero nei Nebrodi, quindi in montagna alta. È una produzione loro unica, cioè ne fanno diversi tipi e poi la vanno a vendere. Essendo noi della regione che fa parte della nostra associazione, la dà non etichettata, nel senso, come posso dire, ne fa diversi tipi, però comunque sia affumicata che non affumicata, è una produzione di questa zona.
Fabrizia, could you summarize quickly?
Yes, I will try. So the meat comes from a local producer. They use this typical race of pig from Nebrodi, and they prepare it in different ways. In this instance, it was smoked before.
Thank you so much. And let's see a video from the Sicily region. Thank you so much. Thank you, Alessia. Congratulations. Brava.
The period of greatest splendor dates back to the Roman rule between the 3rd and the 1st centuries BC. Cicero and other ancient sources reported that Centuripini had privileged relations with the city. During the imperial age, between the 1st and the 3rd centuries AD, numerous public monuments were built, which are still very well preserved. Centuripe is about 65 kilometers from Enna and is the easternmost municipality of the province. The town is located on the top line of a mountain formation and takes the shape of a starfish. With its altitude, it allows you to see the western side of Etna, along with the Simeto Valley and part of the Catania Plain. My name is Alessia. I am 19 years old. I have just enrolled at the University of Catania in food science and technology. I have 2 work experiences. The first last year in Cimeri in Calabria with the Voi Hotels in the Voi Floriana residence, and the second this summer with the TH in Sardinia at the TH San Teodoro Liscia Eldi. My biggest dream is to travel and to go to New York. I've decided to undertake this path in the kitchen and become a chef thanks to the passion that my aunt passed on to me since I was very little. the State Professional Institute for Food, Wine and Hotel Hospitality Services, Don Bino Pugliesi of Centuripe, headed by the school director Serafino Locascio, offers boys and girls who are preparing to leave middle school one of the most fascinating study and career paths. My journey in this field begins in Messina, where I was awarded Best Young Chef in 2022. I feel very motivated, and I'm looking
the
forward.
best of the video already. That was wonderful. Thank you so much, Alessia. And now we're up with Sander Mollerup. So go ahead, Sander. Of course. You could come right over here, actually.
Yeah,
Over here.
of course.
So that
Yeah.
was camera sees you, so the jury sees you.
Yeah, of
There
course.
you go.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Bravo.
Yeah, for this dish, I gone back to my roots. I'm from a small harbor town in Denmark, where it's almost like a souvenir people take home when they have visited us. It's such a characteristic example of food from the area. Even a famous band is called Tørfisk. That is what I served. And there's many songs about it as well. It's really have a cultural importance for the whole culture around the harbor here in my town. And it's called Bakskul. Tørfisk, Dabs. It has many names. It depends per where it come from, and it doesn't it matter if you are 10 kilometers away. The name changes. And what it is dried common dab that they hang all around the gardens in this town, where people dry it for the summer. In old times, there go stories that the fishermen hang it in the sails when they were sailing home, because in the winter time they couldn't go on the sea, and then they will have any food. So we eat it as a delicacy and tradition, but in old times it was necessary for survival at times, and that's why it has such an importance, cultural significance for the area. And I served it like a Danish called smørbrød, which is an open-faced sandwich. It's very famous, and you can get smørbrød in all kinds of varieties. But in my area, the favorite is this one with the bakskul, which is this dried and then smoked fish. I served it on a very classic Danish rye bread with one of my friends who baked it, who makes his own flour, this rye flour, and then made with whole grain and of course sourdough, which give this significant taste of sour and a little bit bitterness. It's a very common Danish thing, and a lot of people don't understand it when I serve it for international people, because they use the bread being so white, but in Denmark we like it very sour. And then I served it with some potato chips and a very Danish thing as well. It's called remoulade, and it's mayonnaise essentially that you whisk in some pickled vegetables and a mild curry, and then you have remoulade. And Danes eat it to everything, especially fish. People love it to smoked fish. Yes. You're welcome.
Wonderful, thank you. Are there any questions from the jury about this lovely dish? Yes, Theo.
He already answered everything what we want to ask, so he explained really good this meal.
Okay, great. Well, enjoy. And Diane and I will be lucky enough to taste a little bit, and we'll watch the video that Sander and his region made from Denmark.
Lemvig. Et smilehul ved fjordens vig. En spytklat fra havet. Min barndomsegn. Her er jeg vokset op. Med den salte smag i luften. Sand mellem tæerne. Og stolte landbrugs- og fisketraditioner. Fisken. Når man er herude vestfra, så er det nærmest en følgesvend. Og det er lige her, de kommer fra. den lokale fiskeauktion i Thyborøn. Den friske fisk taler sit eget sprog. Gællerne, slimlaget, duften, tegnene på en god fisk. Jeg husker de tidligere morgener hos Arne, da jeg var ude og røgte. Det var der, jeg lærte værdien af hårdt arbejde og kvalitetsråvarer. Arnes køer har det godt, og det kan smages. Dyrevelfærd er ikke bare et ord, det er en smagsgaranti. I gammel tid var tørfisk en nødvendighed. Konserveret af den vestjyske salteblæst. Vi spiser tørfisk, ikke af nødvendighed, men af tradition. Det er Vestjylland i en bid. Selv tallerkenerne har en historie. Skabt af den lokale keramiker, Lone. Det er ligesom den havbund, fladfisken ligger på. Det er en del af samarbejdet, af fællesskabet. Og den kultur, jeg repræsenterer. Det, jeg elsker ved mad, er håndværket. Det kræver præcision, tålmodighed og en dyb forståelse for råvaren. Det er en evig stræben efter perfektion. Mad er ikke bare mad for mig. Det er en fortælling. En arv. Og til sidst har min hyldest til Vestjylland. Til min hjemhavn.
Bravo to Sander Mollerup for his Schmorabroad, open-faced sandwich. And now one thing that, well, of course, the passion and the stories that come out of these videos are always very interesting and inspiring. But what I also noticed is that in this video, there was a ceramist who was featured who made the plates. Diane, do you notice, is there a collaboration between young chefs and artisans in the region? What is that collaboration, if you could tell me a little bit about it?
Yes, and it's one of the areas that we try to encourage as well, because we want them to support not only the local food producers, but also the local artisans and artists. And we've seen increasingly that the young chefs are doing that. And many of the great chefs, they like to have signature dishes with a signature plate, and they are really thinking about the whole presentation, from the plating to what they put on the plate. So it's beautiful to see, but this collaboration between artists and the creativity is definitely something to watch out for.
Yes, which goes back to IGCAT's principle, and it's a raison d'être. I can use French terms too, since we're here in lovely Le Touquet. The raison d'être of IGCAT is all about that collaboration. And speaking of art, we have some more art coming out. Art in the form of food. And this is Christina Pons from Menorca. We have Christina fans, mentors in the audience, and I'm sure that we have many people cheering Christina on, watching in Menorca now. So, and she's serving a Menorca-style calamari with baked potatoes. Christina, go ahead.
Now? Yes.
There we go. Bravo, Christina. Go ahead.
I start?
Okay. Yes, go ahead.
So until a few years ago, in my family, it was a cherished tradition to gather around the dinner table on Christmas Eve and feast on stuffed squid. The responsibility of preparing this delectable dish fell to my beloved uncle and father, a task they would undertake that same morning, and I would often join them helping in the kitchen. This annual ritual, Culinary, had a special significance, not just for its delicious flavors, but also for the fond memories and the sense of togetherness it brought. The preparation of stuffed squid is a symbol of celebration, marking the festive holiday season. The process of creating this dish is deeply rooted in our Menorcan culture. Dates back 1890s and making it an integral part of Menorcan cultural integral heritage. It embodies the island tradition of utilizing fresh and seasonal foods from the land and the sea with a focus on the squid. Moreover, it's important to remark that the recipient that you see is the tia, and this is an heritage of the Arab passage from the island. And it's common that all the persons in Menorca have one in this house. One of the most unforgettable aspects of this tradition is the fishing excursion, because it is customary for a family member or a friend to take out and venture out with the fishing route and venture out with the llaut, that is a typical Menorca fishing boat. And this image of numerous illuminated boats along the coast of Ciutadella, mirroring a starry night sky, is a sight that etches itself into your memory forever. And all the dishes have a story, and believe me when I say that this dish holds a special place in my heart. Tragically, a few years ago, my uncle passed away, and since that moment, we haven't been able do this dish for Christmas dinner. So, in a way, do this dish pays homage to him. I hope that after this competition and with the countless time I have practiced on making this dish, I'll be able to summon the courage and repeat this dish this year Christmas dinner. I sincerely hope that you enjoy this journey into the heart of Menorcan culinary heritage.
Thank you. Thank you, Christina. Yes, a little time. We need a little time. Thank you, Christina. That was beautiful, and thank you for bringing this tradition to us. And I'm sure you're making a lot of people in Menorca very proud. Okay, I see Amand has a question. We'll go over to our jury
Hello.
for questions.
Okay, congratulations for this dish, and you should try to give us, even the audience. Can you give me your secret? How you get your calamar tender? No, come on, tell me, because we are neighbors. So in my region, I know how to get calamar tender. Then I will tell the audience how they have to do it. But you have to tell me your secret.
For me, I don't know it's the fine way, but the secret is don't put much time in the oven and don't mark the squid before, because in that way the fibers of the calamari don't.
Just can I ask you the time in the oven, please? Can I ask you in the time of the oven?
More or less 15 minutes.
You never
the calamar, the potatoes more.
Yeah, the calamar. You never taught the calamar when it's raw to fry it first in maybe some olive oil and to make it. We call it scared.
Okay.
Okay, then maybe that's a way to get calamar tender. Or the people in Gozo, we call them Gozitans, the Maltese, we call them Gozitans, they have invented another method of getting calamar tender. Big pot, you boil them and you put all the corks, all the wine corks from the wine bottles, the corks, you put them together and let it boil.
Okay.
So you know what to do with your...
Everyone's going into their kitchen to get their wine corks and throwing them into pots to see if that's making everything more tender. Don't try this at home. Wendy, do you have a question?
My glasses are a bit steamed up here. Sending love from Scotland. I have two quick things. One is not a question. One is, I just want to say how I admire you making what is a local heritage dish very beautiful, because it's a tricky one to make look beautiful, and you've achieved that. So I just wanted to say that.
Thank you.
And the dish that I saw you cooking in the kitchen looks like a relative of this.
Yeah.
So are these family dishes too?
It's the same dish, but this is more small. Yeah. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and congratulations, Christina.
Thank you.
Let's see Menorca's lovely video. I want to try this squid.
Estimada Menorca, in your calm and your silence, where words fade away and only the whisper of the wind and the murmur of the sea fill my ears, it is here where I discover a paradise in the Mediterranean, a gem that shines in the simplicity of its landscapes and the humility of its people. Every day, upon waking and gazing at the majesty of this land, we renew our silent promise to protect it with passion and determination. Its green hills and its beaches of golden sand and crystal clear waters remind us that we are guardians of this corner of paradise. Its fields generously provide us with the fruits of the earth, cultivated with love and dedication from generation to generation by its farmers, preserving to this day the same methods of their past generations, while its sea offers us an infinite treasure of hidden flavors brought to our homes by its fishermen, who always watch over our sea. Thus, Menorca's cuisine becomes a symphony of flavors that reflects the essence of the island, a dance of fresh and local ingredients that narrate the history of this land and its symbiotic relationship between humans and nature. Every bite is a tribute to our island and its culinary richness. Its artisans, who have inherited the land and the legacy of their ancestors, weave and sculpt with the same hands that care for this land, intertwining the past and the present on a canvas of textures and colors that evoke the landscape of our island, giving us a silent testimony of the skill and ingenuity passed down through the ages. Our commitment is a promise of sustainability manifested in the care of our ecosystems, respect for the sea that surrounds us, and the land we cultivate. We are guardians of Menorca, living in harmony with the island, nourishing ourselves with its beauty and caring for it with gratitude and respect. Every wave that caresses our shores and every breeze that whispers among the trees remind us of the importance of honoring our legacy and maintaining the eternal dance of sustainability and love for life in Menorca. I'm Cristina Pons Benavides, and I'm proud to represent Menorca at the European Young Chef Award.
Bravo again, Christina. Lovely dish. Oh, there's some beer out here. What's going on here? Excuse me, Oscar. We have Oscar Kraus. Ooh. My apologies. That was my fault getting too close to the speaker. Oscar comes from Ytre, a small island off the coast of the Trøndelag region in Norway. Oscar, go ahead. You can take the microphone and present your beautiful dish. Go ahead.
So in front of you, you have bacalao. It's my mother's recipe. It's made from local vegetables and clipfish from the bacalao city, Ålesund. It's served with a local beer that fits perfectly with seafood and soups and like bacalao. It's also made from local ingredients. Bacalao is brought to Norway by Portuguese sailors, and before it was used as a crisis food. When I was a kid, we used to have it a lot, and it brought memories to me because everybody was together. And this is a really important dish for me, and it's really completed, I feel like.
Wonderful. Could you just take a step forward so we even get you closer to your bacalao, Oscar? Thank you so much. Does the jury have any questions for Oscar? Go ahead. Go ahead. There's a microphone right here. Go ahead.
I have a question. What is your decision to use beer and not wine? I know it's a difficult question. By the way, I am Belgian. I love beer, so that's why
No
I
pressure
love
there.
dishes with beer. But my question is, would you recommend eventually this dish with wine, with white wine or rosé wine, and why particular with beer? I want to have your really your comment why you choose beer with that dish.
First of all, it's a local beer, and it has a really good taste together with fish. It's made by Frøya water, which is one of the best waters in the world, in my opinion. So the beer will have a nice quality. I feel like the taste of the beer really brings together all the flavors in the dish.
Okay, only one thing. You can explain us all a little bit about the vegetables you use, and I see that there is tomato sauce as well inside. And what tomato sauce you use and why?
So, first of all, about the vegetables, it's from a place called Frøya Markedshage. It's local producers of half ecological vegetables. And for example, the potatoes and the tomatoes and the flowers are all local. And the sauce I use is petty tomato sauce, extra fine. It's because my mother recommended it, and it gives a really sweet and nice taste.
I think there's one more question.
Go ahead, Paula.
I want to thank you because in a second I went home. This is, we have a similar plate in Portugal, and it's not only the bacalhau, it's the tomato, everything. Thank you so much, wonderful. As well as in the previous plate, I was in Menorca. It was lovely also, and I forgot to tell her directly. So, thank you. It was a travel in a dish. Thank you.
Thank you. Traveling without even leaving our seats. Thank you so much. We'll enjoy and we'll watch Oscar's video and the video from the Trøndelag-Trondheim region. Thank you so much. Round of applause for Oscar and his bacalhau.
Jeg oppvokst her, midt i havgapet, med Norskehavet som nærmeste nabo. Jeg bor i hjertet av Norge og i hjertet av havnæringen. Det utenfor her de fisker den sprekeste fisken. Det her de sanker de friskeste kamskjellene. Det klart at det former deg når du som unge har kjøp på alle kanter, når fjæra er lekeplassen din, og når nordavind står rett på store deler av året. Det gir en ekstra edge. Det får overlevelsesinstinktet til å kicke inn. For meg så gir det meg inspirasjon og glede. Inspirasjon til å skape mat på høyest gastronomisk nivå, til å vise verden hva vi kan få til med ureist norske råvarer. Råvarer som vi selv høster, sanker, plukker og fisker, som vi henger opp og som vi tar vare på for resten av året. Min tradisjonsrett er bacalhau. Den er basert på den opprinnelige bacalhau, biscaina, med klippfisk og tomatpuré. Det jeg ønsker å vise frem med min innovative rett er hvordan norsk mat har utviklet seg på kort tid. Når mine besteforeldre var unge, så var øylivet hardt. Det handlet om overlevelse. Livet handlet om sjø, om vind og vær. Bacalhau kom til oss med portugisiske sjømenn.
Det var andre typer smaker enn vi i Norge var vant til. Og under andre verdenskrig var bacalao som krisemat, fordi man brukte mat som holdt seg lenge i spiskammers. For min innovative rett så vil jeg vise frem at bacalao er så mye mer enn krisemat. Jeg vil gjøre retten ultralokal og moderne. Jeg bruker tørrfisk. Den har kokkene her på Hotell Frøya fisket og hengt selv. Tørrfisken er stjerna i showet hos meg, og den skal få skinn. I tillegg har jeg tatt inn 2 typer tang. En fantastisk lokal råvare vi har tilgang til året rundt her i Øyrike. Kamskjell er en luksusråvare som vi har utrolig god tilgang til her ute. Den håndplukkes, og vi velger kun de perfekte skjellene. Størrelsen på hvert eneste skjell måles for å sikre en bærekraftig fangst. Jeg håper dere kan kjenne smaken av Trøndelag og av Øyrike Hitra-Frøya i retten min. Bacalao à la Oscar.
Bravo again to Oscar. And I'm sure Amand raised a good point. He was talking about the drinks that go along with the food that we eat, which, well, in France and all over the world, that is a very major component to our dining experience. So have you noticed anything? Is there a lot of pairing that happens, a particular pairing that happens in this contest?
Yes, quite often the young chefs will bring a drink along to either cook with or to pair with, or both. And it's increasingly interesting because what we're seeing now is a new generation that are drinking alcohol less. So what I'd be interested to see in future competitions, and maybe it's something that we can encourage in future competitions, is to think about refreshment drinks that are local and not necessarily alcoholic drinks, because when we think about local drinks, we always think about the local alcoholic drinks. But we really do need to start pushing local non-alcoholic drinks too. And so I'd like to see that in future in the competitions too.
Very interesting to be able to witness then that revolution, that evolution, I should say, which is it's a trend as of late, I would say, these non-alcoholic drinks. And we are on to Osvaldo Cejas and his lovely Molts Gaudi style red mullets, the traditional dish. So go ahead, Osvaldo, I'll let you present your dish to the jury as they are served.
Hello, hello.
You're doing great. Yes. Is your microphone on? We'll just make sure that it's on. Yeah. It is. Yes, sorry about that.
Hola, buenas tardes. Soy Osvaldo, tengo 19 años, vengo de la escuela de Vedruna Gracia, la cual está ubicada en Cataluña, como la ciudad que represento, que vengo a representar la región.
Hello, good afternoon everyone. My name is Osvaldo Cejas. I'm 19 years old. I come from Barcelona. I've studied in Vedruna Gracia Cooking School and I represent Catalonia.
El plato que les presento se llama Molts Gaudi. Es un plato tradicional de la cocina catalana modernista, el cual fue elaborado por primera vez en el siglo XIX.
The dish I've picked is Molts Gaudi. It's a classic from the modernist cooking Catalan cuisine, and is from the 19th century.
Este plato revolucionó, por así decirlo, la cocina modernista y la sofisticó mucho más a la hora de crear formas, dar colores a los platos y también aportar sabores y luminosidad, como la arquitectura o lo que o el diseño de Barcelona.
This dish supposed kind of a revolution from more less color cuisine to a flavor full of color, full of textures, full of forms, modernist cuisine. And it was like a mirror to the architecture and the design of Barcelona.
Este plato es un salmonete. Trae una gran variedad de verduras, la cual encontramos en Barcelona a manos de jóvenes productores de proximidad. También
This dish is a red mullet with a lot of vegetables in it. You can find lots of young producers in Barcelona, although it's a big city, it's also a big pantry of vegetables.
Gracias a Barcelona tenemos una gran variedad, una gran despensa que nos permite tener estos ingredientes. Tenemos montaña, tenemos paisajes, tenemos costa y bosques también.
Barcelona is surrounded by very different landscapes. We have coast, we have forests, we have mountains, we have lands, and it's all reflected in Catalan cuisine.
También tenemos lo que viene siendo el tesoro de Cataluña, que es el aceite de oliva virgen extra, el cual es la base de la dieta mediterránea, ya que es una grasa saludable y en Cataluña es un estilo de vida el aceite de oliva.
What you can also find in the dish is our extra virgin olive oil, which is an essential ingredient of the Mediterranean diet and also very important to Catalan cuisine. It's a treasure.
Espero que les haya gustado y agradecerles una vez más por la oportunidad que me habéis brindado de estar aquí. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much, and I'm honored with the opportunity.
Wonderful. Thank you, Osvaldo. Does our jury have any questions about the red mullet? Yes, go ahead. Pau first, perhaps, and then Amand. Go ahead, Pau.
Buenas, ¿qué tal? Felicidades. I'm gonna say it in Spanish and then I will translate, okay. Nuestra pregunta es ¿cómo has decidido defender como plato tradicional un plato de Ferran Adrià?
Okay. Este plato fue elaborado por Ferran Adrià para su restaurante El Bulli en 1998, pero él inspirándose en las obras de Gaudí más que todo y en la estructura que viene siendo de Barcelona y sus edificios.
This dish, as Paul Sintet said, Paul Sintet, do you want to?
Yes, sorry, could we have the translation of the question
I
first?
asked to him why he decided to present as a traditional dish that is a dish from Ferran Adrià, that is who revolute all the vanguardist cuisine. No?
Okay, so Osvaldo said that this dish was previous to that version Ferran Adrià did in 1998. 1998. So the dish was already in the modernist kitchens, and Ferran Adrià, our famous chef, did it in the Bulli in the 1998.
Yes, Amand has a question.
Okay, I will jump into that. It's a very good question, Paul, because I have seen that it was created by other chefs. But my question to you personally is, as you presented this, is it your own creation? Is it your own creation? The presentation, I'm talking about.
Esta es una receta sacada de un libro de la cocina tradicional catalana.
So it's not her own version, it's a recipe that is in the books that is historic and reflects that culinary moment in Barcelona.
I will be more particular. It's very well presented. Congratulations. So that's why have you been inspired because you call it this Art Nouveau in your description. You call it Art Nouveau. So have you been inspired, and maybe you have been inspired by any painter or artist to produce this type? For me, this was like a little painting from an artist to me. So I don't know if you are so creative that you can maybe produce other dishes with your own creations. That is my question.
Thank you. I'll let Osvaldo think about that. We'll have more time to talk about it. But actually, I think your question might be answered in the video that Osvaldo made and the video that the region of Catalonia made. So why don't we have the video speak for us? Thank you, Osvaldo.
Cada día al pasar por la Casa Vicens, ya que es el camino hacia la escuela, me paraba y analizaba los contrastes, los colores, las flores y el arte que tiene la Casa Vicens, que va a ser una de las primeras obras del joven arquitecto Gaudí, y esa fue mi inspiración para mi plato. Soc Osvaldo Andrés Ceja Velasco, soc de Bolívia originalment, tinc 19 anys. El nombre de mi plato es Moix de Gaudí, es originario de la cocina modernista catalana del siglo XIX y esta vez lo he reinterpretado yo a mi manera. Barcelona es una gran despensa y encontramos ahí muchos productos de la dieta mediterránea y también podemos encontrar jóvenes productores que suministran producto local y también ecológico. Y en mi caso, en el tema de pescados, trabajo con el producto que nos otorga Capamar, las verduras de esquís frits, y en el caso del vino nos las otorga la bodega que se llama Can Matons. Mi plato lleva salmonete, ajo, romero y tomillo, boniato, apionabo, pimentón rojo, puerro, tomate, calabacín y alcachofa, la cual la confitamos de manera tradicional. Y para terminar, agarramos la lima y hacemos un aire para darle un toque de frescor al plato y limpiar el paladar, también haciendo un guiño a mi país de origen.
Beautiful. Thank you, Osvaldo. So yes, Amand, you saw maybe a little more of the relationship between art and his cooking. Next up, maybe we'll give Matthias Roysko a little more time. It seems like they'll be ready shortly.
We're ahead of time.
We're ahead of time. Look at that. Time. What shall we do, Diane? Maybe we could talk a little bit about the relationship between art, architecture, and food, and the region. Well, here we go. We were going to come up with a brilliant conversation, I will tell you that much, but we're moving on.
I'm saved.
Yes. No, I'm sure you had many very interesting things to say, but we're moving on to Matthias Roysko. Who is from Finland, the Lake Saimaa region, to be precise, coming out with beautiful gold-lined plates. Matthias, you can go ahead and present your wonderful dish. Hello, bravo.
So, this is the traditional fish soup from Finland. It has been eaten very long time. My grandmother always, in Finland there is this festival in summer, it's called Juhannus. It's like the midnight, we celebrate the midnight sun that day, and my grandmother always made me this dish, fish soup, and earlier that day we would go with my granddad fishing around the lakes of Saimaa, and in the evening cook what we caught, and usually it was fish and we celebrate it and eat it with my family.
Great, thank you
Thank
so much. Yes, of course, all these wonderful memories brought up through the food. I'll give the jury a moment to taste, and I wonder if any questions are already coming up from the jury members. We have a question from Thea. Go ahead, Thea.
Can you tell us something about the bread? Which kind of bread is this? And
Broad.
Broad.
Yeah. I have used in the broad, I've used the leftovers from the onion, the scraps, same as the dill, all the leftovers from dill and onion. Then I use the whole fish carcass, including the head, all the bones that is not in the fish. I cut them off and put them on just some cold water, boil them, so you can use the whole fish. Nothing goes to waste.
Thank you. Paul, do you also have a question?
No, well, just the thing that I
yes.
think we are telling, because in the plan we have put the soup is be served with organic and local rye bread.
But we don't have that bread.
Oh, we don't have bread. Oh.
You will have to bring one day.
Yeah, I have to, yeah.
Absolutely. So we can have, I know that you made a nice video featuring Lake Saimaa, and we can see a little bit more about your region. Why don't we have a look at that? Thank you. Congratulations, Matthias. Yes. Go ahead, bravo.
What would you do if your day had only 5 hours of light in it? This is the land I grew up in. Each year, when the winter comes to cover us with snow, the sun takes both its warmth and light away from us. Darkness eats away our daylight hours, until in the heart of the winter we have almost 19 hours of darkness per day. This is why we have become so good at lighting fires, building saunas, cooking heartwarming meals, and holding each other close to keep us warm. And when the spring drives the darkness away, we see the nature waking up from its sleep. Summer for us is the season of light, when our plants, fields, and animals soak up all the sun they can get, and we humans celebrate the beauty of the midnight sun. In this extreme fluctuation between scarcity and bounty, our food gets its delicious taste. The endless sunlight infuses our berries with sweetness, our fish with vitamins, and our vegetables with intense flavors. In my family, it was my grandma and father who taught me to go to the forest and find the best berry picking places. At home, we turned the gifts of the forest into jams, mushroom sauce, berry juice, and blueberry pie that we enjoyed while eating together. That's how I learned: when you serve food, even the smallest details count when creating a memorable experience. With over 14,000 kilometers of shoreline and more than 13,000 islands, Lake Saimaa is the biggest one in Finland. The lake also houses a special resident called the Saimaa seal. With only 480 seals left, it's an endangered species, and we are developing new fishing methods that are safer for them. Saimaa is an area empires have fought over many times. As a testimony of these wars, we have the Olavinlinna Castle, the northernmost medieval castle in the whole world, nowadays hosting the world-famous Savonlinna Opera Festival. Earlier, in 2023, Savonlinna, together with surrounding areas, was awarded the Sustainable Travel Finland certificate. I believe that chefs have a big role to play in sustainability, because we can choose locally grown produce and prepare the food in a way that minimizes food waste. When I graduate as a chef, I want to work with the best chefs around the globe and make Lake Saimaa and its treasures known to the world. I am Matias Roisko, and this is Lake Saimaa, Finland.
Bravo, Matthias. Bravo, Matthias. And we were saying that today, it's really important that we have today. It's not only is it a chance for the young chefs to get familiar with the kitchens, to get used to the exercise of presenting their dish, of defending their dish in front of a jury, and it's also an important exercise for us to know where to go, where the servers are going, where the plate should be going. All of that is, of course, part of the experience. So we're working out all of the kinks today, so that tomorrow this will all be seamless. There will be absolutely seamless service. And do you find that in the first days, how do the first days usually go of these competitions? Are there a lot of kinks to work out? Do you have any anecdotes, any stories of first days, practice runs, and the evolution over the course of a couple days?
Well, yes. I mean, that's the reason why we do the rehearsal day. As you know, although the jury are doing due diligence here and there, they're jotting down notes so they can remember the traditional dish for tomorrow and really evaluate whether it's an improvement, the innovation or not. The reason for doing the traditional dish first is so that the finalists can get used to their kitchen, but also the hosts can get used to hosting this type of event. We have excellent serving staff, students from the school who are doing an absolutely brilliant job. But you can see we need to find our place. For example, just now I realized we're not in the good place there because we're in the way of the serving staff and so on. So we'll rethink that for tomorrow. These are the kind of tweaks that we can work on to make tomorrow's streaming even more slimline and seamless. And also, it gives the finalists confidence for tomorrow because they'll be able to come in, they know what they're doing, and they know where they're going. So it makes everybody a little bit more relaxed for the main competition, which is what we want to do.
Yes, absolutely. There'll be pros by tomorrow for this competition. Actually, I was talking, Pau, do you mind if I ask you a question? For this, the preparation, do you remember a difference between the first day and the second day of the competition?
Well, yes. In the first, I was so nervous in the first, but it happens like nowadays that I have too many things to do. I'm so stressed, but when I start cooking, I'm like so calm. And it's what the same I saw in the kitchens when they were cooking. So they were so calm. So they were preparing all the things. The techniques were good. The cuttings were good, and I think they are gonna have good results for sure, and tomorrow as well.
So already it's a great practice run, and tomorrow they'll have even more confidence.
And I need this exercise is for sure. It has to be because the traditional ones is the most important. No, to know from where we are and to know the products that are used always. Then we can use other techniques to try to make it better or make it different, but always to have the flavors and all the ingredients from the traditional one. So
how would you say we have to know where we come from to know where we're going? Maybe
that
can be the. I'm in the way again. We're gonna work this out for tomorrow. There we go. We'll work out that kink too. I've been hurting a lot of ears today with that feedback. So here we have Dimitrios Mavropoulos from the South Aegean region, who is going to present his traditional dish of lard with cabbage. Go ahead, Dimitrios.
Hello, my name is Dimitris Mavropoulos. This traditional recipe is from Mykonos, a Greek island in the South Aegean. This specific food was served at folk festivals called Hierosphagia in ancient times. Most families kept pigs all the year round until October-November, when they were slaughtered. In early times, pigs were considered part of the family property. That is why they made sure that no part was lost. Therefore, the goal was to use it from nose to tail and provide the family with meals for the whole year. The lightly cored pork lard was washed and boiled in water. When it was almost ready, cabbage was added. The dish was enriched with lemon juice and fennel. Generally, it's a difficult part of the animal to consume, but with many calories, which were most needed in those past year. Thank you.
Wonderful, Dimitrios. Thank you. I see these are beautiful dishes too. I'm admiring the dish as much as the food itself. I believe that Wendy might have a question for you, Dimitrios. Could you take a step forward so the cameras and everyone in the South Aegean region can see you? Go ahead, Wendy. Do you have a question?
Thank you. So I was watching you carve up your lard at that point, and you told me it was about the local pig. And I'm interested, you talk about that tradition of the nose to tail, which is often something in the Nordic countries as well. In fact, probably anywhere, because you don't waste anything. So did you ever see a forefather or a neighbor doing the nose to tail? Have you seen it, or have you done it yourself? Thank you.
I did read in a book this recipe. Traditional book in Mykonos.
Thank you. Paola, you have a question?
Is it the lard salted some days before, as in the old days?
Yes, of course.
Wonderful, wonderful, yes. Because there was no refrigerators and people used to preserve the food inside the salt. So, wonderful.
Amon, did you also have a question? Or a comment? Yes.
Just about, as my colleague was mentioning salt. Is it a particular salt? Is it a rock salt, or is it a salt from your salt pans?
Sea salt. We use sea salt.
But where is it collected from salt pans? Is it natural or
yes,
from salt pans? So
yes,
from the sea, and then you have the process
yes,
of,
yes.
like we have also salt pans. That's why I'm asking you those questions. And is it like crystal salt or is it fine salt? A bit crystal?
Crystal.
Crystal. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you, Dimitrios. Wonderful.
Thank you too.
Let's visit the South Aegean through the video that the region made with Dimitrios. And we'll get a taste of this, Diane. It looks lovely.
It's a traditional recipe from the region of Mykonos, prepared and served in folk festivals. The original name is Chirosphaggia, which is from the ancient times. Most Myconian families kept livestock, a pig, for the whole year, up to a specific time of the year, October, November, when they were slaughtered. As we are referring to older times, the livestock was considered part of the family's fortune, and as such, no part of it was allowed to go to waste. Therefore, the goal was to utilize the entirety of the animal, from nose to tail, and provide the family with meals for the whole year to come. One of the recipes of this festival is the one I selected for the competition. The general idea is to bring all the traditional taste and smell of the dish in a more appealing way. As such, the idea of the traditional dish is enriched with modern cooking methods and techniques for a more elegant result. First of all, we try to make the dish more appealing to modern guests because lard is not easily consumed, even by current Mykonoan residents. Therefore, we decided to use pork belly instead, and we treated it beforehand partially with nitrates. We exchanged the use of kale in the sauce with white cabbage for a more mild taste. The distinct presence of lemon in the traditional dish is present in the sauce and is made more evident by the addition of the lemon liquid gel.
Excellent. Bravo again to Dimitrios. There has been a lot of traveling through tasting that we've had here, Diane. And I believe coming up next we have a dessert. So that, ça tombe bien, as we say in French, that was well organized. And it will be a dessert that features honey. And Diane, I know that you know something about World Bee Day. So let's talk a little bit about bees before we have our last contestant.
Yes, well, I'm quite excited about this dessert because what I understand is he's going to use honey from 100 kilometers from his home. And for the last few years, IGCAT has been very much interested in raising awareness about the importance of bees and pollinators. And it's actually from Slovenia, European Region of Gastronomy 2021, where we met the Association of Beekeepers of Slovenia. And they have been working very hard to have UN World Bee Day. It is now proclaimed World Bee Day. I think it's on the 20th of May. Confirmation. And so we've been working with the Regions of Gastronomy to look at how we can celebrate World Bee Day more widely, how we can encourage our Regions of Gastronomy to build more awareness about bees and honey. And so it's super exciting. And also one of the things that we were saying is that one of the ingredients that we can't get locally in Europe is sugar. But honey is a great alternative for sugar. So, you know, I'm very excited about this dessert.
We'll see on May 20th who will be celebrating World Bee Day. Mark it on your calendars right now. And I saw Wendy Berry listening intently. I'm sure, Wendy, that you have you're interested in the bee day.
Very much so, yes, because of the pollinators, the sustainability, the biodiversity, and of course, Scotland is the home of heather, so we do have very good honey.
Okay, wonderful. We are nearly ready for our final contestant.
We're ahead of time.
The servers are plating. Yes.
He's not late.
No, this is. Yes, the bees are flying away. We'll keep them here. The dishes are coming out. This is the pre-preparation. And now we have Bastian Vok coming out to proudly present his dish. Bastian from Slovenia. Of course, and the smells coming past me are making me turn around and not even face the camera. I'm smelling some very delicious things over here. Go ahead. So I'm seeing what I think is pollen, some honey, some nice traditional looking dishes. And I will hand it over to Bastian Vok, who will present his traditional dish from Slovenia. Sure, we'll give him some space. Go ahead. On peut enlever le plateau. Thank you. On peut enlever le plateau ici. Parfait. Thank you very much. All right. quite the setup. So I'm going to step out of the way because I feel like Bastien has work to do here. Looks like warm towels, maybe for the sticky honey. I don't know. I'll let Bastien explain to us. Go ahead. We have a microphone right over here for you. Ah, okay. He would like us to start with water. Okay. Go ahead. I'm here with a microphone, Bastien. If you would like to comment, I'm. Yes, when Wendy asked if he's cleansing their palate. But it's true that this is we had 8 savory dishes, and now we're moving on to a sweet ending. A sweet ending to our traditional dish day, and a sweet ending to the first day of the European Young Chef Award. Could you tell? Here, I'll hold this for you.
Okay. This is traditional Slovenian water for more minerals, and I ask you who is.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Sparkling.
Which would you like?
Still.
So we have still or sparkling water from Slovenia. Go ahead, and it looks like on the dishes. Cedric, can you see the dish? It looks like pollen or something decorating the bottom of that dish. I'll be interested to see exactly what it is. I think it's pollen. I'm not sure. Bastien said yes, of course. Go ahead, and I'm sure he's anxious to present this to you. Go ahead, Bastien.
Hello, my name is Boštjan Bog, and I represent Slovenia, a small green country, Slovenia. For first, I start with traditional Slovenian water. This is water of Kana, and the glass is specially made for this water. First, does anyone need a tablet for allergy or for pollen or for lactose? Maybe? No? Good. Now I speak Slovenian, and yeah, of course. Pred sabo imate lesene deske, od spodaj imate les, potem je cvetni prah, na njemu je podstavek iz lesa, ki še vedno raste, je orehov, potem imamo medenjak z jedrcem oreha.
So in front of you is a wooden board, and on top of it is pollen. On your left side, you will see a coaster made out of walnut tree, branch, because the tree is still growing. We didn't cut it. And on top of this coaster, you will find a medenjak, a traditional Slovenian dish, or let's say dessert. On this medenjak is a walnut, and it's made from eggs, flour, honey, of course, and walnuts.
Na vaši desni je lonček, ki je zelo značilen za Slovenijo. V njemu imate mleko, karamelizirano mleko, to so nam pripravljale babice, ko smo bili bolani, oziroma takrat, ko nas je bolelo grlo. Ta lonček je zelo značilen za Slovenijo in nekako je povezan z vso slovensko tradicijo.
So on your right side, you will find a cup, a small cup, which is very traditional for Slovenia. It's called Emo. It's a local producer of these cups, and at least once in our lifetime in Slovenia, at least once we drank from this cup. In it you will find a scalded milk, which we prepared with caramelization of honey, and we then poured over milk, and we mixed it up together for very nice aromas and nice flavors.
Ta jed je zelo naravnana, zelo trajnostno, v njej ni nobenega sladkorja in nekako je bila to jed revežev, ker so vse sestavine imeli doma.
So, first off, this dish was prepared for us when we were ill. Our grandmas prepared us this dish, especially because of the honey is very good for your throat. And the other side of it, it was a poor man dish. Because the ingredients were very cheap, they were basically by their hand, and it didn't take much effort to make it. So we now prepare it again when we're ill. Of course, we're not letting go of that tradition. And with holidays coming up, especially in Christmas time, this is the dish you will see on our tables.
Dober tek, please enjoy.
Thank you very much, Bastian. This is lovely. We'll see if the jury has any questions before you leave. I think Thea has perhaps a question.
Yes. You said almost everything what we want to ask, but doesn't matter. We have more questions. Do you have in some of this what we're going to try pollen? Did you put in some of this inside? A little bit, okay. And what did you put in this milk, honey, and do you have some other herbs inside or some aromas?
Honey, boil it in 130 degrees and still mix with milk.
That's it. Okay, okay. And one more question. When we make this at home, how long we can storage it and where?
Maybe 1 week.
Okay.
In dark.
Okay, very true.
And Wendy has a question as well. Go ahead, Wendy.
I just wonder before I start if there is a particular way you would like me to eat this. Should I drink it first? Should I dip it? Should I eat the biscuit first? You guide me.
Pred vami je brisačka z serveto za umivanje rok, nato pa pojeste medenjak z roko in namočite v mleko.
So in front of you is a little towel to freshen up your hands. Then you can by hand take the cookie, take the medenjak and taste it. And for the milk, you can try it with a spoon, or you can just basically sip it.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, is there another question? No, okay, no more time for questions, so we'll go straight to the video. Thank you so much, Bastian. And this is our last video today from the Slovenia region. Go ahead.
Sem Boštjan Vovk, 25-letni kuhar iz majhne vasice Plešivec. Kulinarika in narava sta mi bili položeni v zibelko, saj odraščam ob družinskem gostišču in kmetiji. Zato sem že od malih nog živel v sožitju z naravo, ki me navdihuje in mi daje moč za ustvarjanje. Moji hobiji so raznoliki, vendar pa je vztrajnost, moč in trdo delo potrebno za dosego cilja, ki si ga želiš doseči. In to sem tudi jaz, človek, ki si prizadeva za dosego svojih sanj. Gore so zame začetek in kraj vsake naravne lepote, zato me privlačijo v svoj objem in mi dajejo navdih. Narava je ključnega pomena za naše preživetje, zato jo moramo varovati in spoštovati. To je Franc, eden najboljših čebelarjev. On najbolje ve, kako je potrebno ravnati s čebelami, ki mu vračajo ljubezen v obliki medu. Ukvarja se z apiterapijo. Med je zame naravno zdravilo. Ste vedeli, da čebela v celem svojem življenju nabere le 1 čajno žličko medu, zato moramo ceniti njih in njihov trud. Čebelarstvo Čanč ima veliko priznanj na svetovni ravni. Domači orehi so najboljši in najokusnejši. Imam srečo, saj živim z dobrimi in delovnimi ljudmi. Njihove sestavine so daleč najboljše, zato jih z veseljem uporabljam pri kuhanju. Lokalni pridelovalci so ključni za kakovostne izdelke. Izročilo, ki se prenaša iz roda v rod, je potrebno ohranjati in ceniti. Tradicijo je potrebno spoštovati. Kombinacija medu in orehov je tradicionalna slovenska jed, imenovana medenjak z orehi, ki se mi zdi popolna kombinacija okusov. Jed, ki je značilna za našo regijo, medenjak z jedrcem oreha in prežgano mleko. Rad kuham v stiku z naravo in črpam navdih iz nje, da ustvarim preproste, a okusne jedi. Zavedam se, kako pomembno je skrbeti za naš planet in ohranjati njegovo naravno lepoto za prihodnje generacije. To sem jaz in moja zgodba. Kmalu se vidimo.
Bravo, bravo, Bastian. And with that, thank you all for being here. Thank you at home for joining us and cheering on the very capable and talented chefs in your region. We were able to taste the dishes with Diane today and with the jury, and they were absolutely delicious. I'm extremely impressed. So tomorrow, if the dishes are half as good as they were today, we are definitely in luck. So thank you. Our streaming begins tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning. So we'll see you then for another big day of the European Young Chef Awards, the biggest day for the innovative dishes, and of course, the official day of competition. Thank you all so much for your attention. Thank you to our guests here, to the mentors and representatives of the region, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.